Good afternoon, traders. It's Crispin from FX AlgoTrader here. It's the 8th of February 2021, 13:23 GMT. So we've got a new product here. It's the FX AlgoTrader Index Analyzer Pro. This is just a kind of a summary outline video. And what this system does is it moves on from the existing Index Analyzer product, and it is giving you full time frame index analysis, further sorting of that index data into strength and weakness. So what you can see up here in this index data area, the index table, is the symbols, and we're going by currencies, so dollar, euro, sterling, yen, Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, Swiss franc and CAD. So these are the majors, and the index data is coming in near real time. Every 10 seconds you'll get an update from the FX AlgoTrader server, and this index data represents the light 4x index calculations, and you can see those formula on the web. The index data isn't really available anymore except from us, so if you want real-time data, you've either got to calculate it yourself or subscribe to this service. So once we've got this data, the system then sorts it into strength and weakness order by time frame. So you can see here, we can see immediately that on the monthly time frame, the Aussie dollar is the strongest currency. And then you can, if you look up in the table, you can confirm that by looking at the Aussie dollar data, and that's coming up at 135. So the system automatically sorts by strength and weakness. So Swiss franc is our weakest currency on the monthly basis, confirmed here by the red minus 216.43. So that's the kind of the rough skeleton of the system. What we also have over here is in this new version, we can actually look at the index history graphically. It's interesting, if you look at the weekly data, this is kind of very interesting from my perspective because it gives you real power. I was looking at some currencies in the system, and I was looking at the Aussie dollar and US dollar for starters, and that's what made me put this. This is just a demo trade, but you can see I put in 3 trades, just naked trades, no stop loss and take profit. And I just like the look of the data the index analyzer is giving me. So let's first of all look at the Aussie dollar US dollar. So that's Aussie dollar US dollar, and what I saw was this Aussie dollar increase in index strength over time, and then a weakening US dollar, and I really liked that profile. You know, long-term historical strengthening of the Aussie dollar index and weakening of the US dollar, and which is why I decided to go long Aussie dollar US dollar. And I did it pretty much as an experiment. I just wanted to see how that worked out, and it worked out really pretty well. We put a 1 lot position on there, and now 100 pips up. Then I also went long Aussie dollar Kiwi dollar, and let's have a look at that too. So Aussie dollar Kiwi dollar, and again you can see Aussie dollar strengthening nicely, and this position has been playing out since the 1st of Feb, last few days, and again Kiwi dollar weakening over the same time period. So found it very interesting looking at that historical index data, and let's just have a look at that chart as well. Aussie Kiwi, yeah, on a monthly basis this looks really compelling to me. You know, we're seeing the Aussie dollar historical lows really against the Kiwi dollar. We obviously saw this massive downtrend, an area of huge range bound price action, and possibly a breakout situation here. I think that's why I liked it. I kind of looked at this downtrend here and thought, yeah, this looks like a bit of a reversal pattern setting up. So yeah, we're long there. See how that plays out. Just sort of kind of spitballing a little bit, really just talking about using long-term index data and the trend of the long-term index data to try and give you a bit of an insight. And I just really like that Aussie Kiwi chart actually. But more importantly, using the system actively on a shorter time frame basis, you can now auto trade. So there's an MT4 auto trade feature. Let's talk a bit about the filters. This is can get quite complicated, so bear with me. The filters are multi-time frames, so you can control filters on M1 all the way through to MN1, and you can see the filters are controlled like this, so I can just select them by time frame, and you can see the active filter areas are grey, and you can see qualifying currencies being filtered out into this short and long candidates, if you like, qualifying filtered currencies. At the moment it's selecting short JPY and long Kiwi dollar. Let's explain that. So in order to qualify, the currency has to be in both the grey filter area and also the target or the match time frame filtered area, which is denoted in red. And I can control this match time frame. It's called the alert depth, using this alert depth spinner parameter here. So I've now increased that to the weakest 3 currencies on the 15-minute chart and the strongest 3 currencies on the 15-minute chart. That's our match time frame. So we can see it's saying that we're short sterling and short yen because sterling and yen are in both of the filter criteria. So the match time frame and also the daily filter, and in terms of the weakest currencies. So sterling is on the daily and sterling is also in the M15 match time frame, and yen is also in both of those filter time frames. And in terms of the long side, we're seeing the Kiwi dollar in the daily filter and also in the match time frame filter. So hopefully that explains how the system filters out long and short candidates. What we also need to do is look at the filter type, and this is to do with the match time frame. So if you trend follow, the system will just look for the same currencies in the match time frame as are in the actual filters, the grey filter areas. If we change that to buy dip or sell rally, that changes completely. When we get a chart refresh here, you'll see those qualifying filter currencies change. So this will happen every 10 seconds. As you see now what it's done, it's said, the system has said, we want to go long US dollar. There's nothing at the moment which qualifies for a short position, but at the moment the dollar, US dollar, fits our filter criteria for a buy dip and sell rally trade. And the reason is that the dollar, US dollar, is strongest. It's in the strong filter on the daily. So essentially what the system is trying to do is, on a dip buying approach, you want to basically isolate a currency which is on the higher time frames, which is in a strong filter category. So if I go into weekly as well, we'll still see the dollar because the dollar occurs here in the daily and on the weekly, but it also has come down on the M15 into this weak match time frame, and that's why the system is filtering that out as a potential long candidate. So we're buying the dip. So essentially the filter type, if you go to buy dip sell rally, it will reverse these around. So it will look for essentially a currency to be in this strong category here, both of these filters on the daily and weekly, but it also needs to be in the weak match time frame. So, and vice versa for a short position. You want the actual short currency to be in these filtered areas here, the grey areas. It's got to be in both of those, but it also has to be in the strongest of the match time frame on whatever time frame you're using. So a little bit confusing probably, but once you get the hang of it, you start to see the power in it. So let's have a look at performance. So I've been experimenting a bit with this. I mean, these 3 trades here were just before I started this video. They're not kind of very serious trades. You can see how the time frames I used to generate those, and they were all on a daily main filter, and the match time frame was M15, and they were all trend follow trades. And the trend follow is where the system will just jump onto the actual trend if a currency meets all of these filter criteria. But anyway, let's have a look at the performance historically. So I noticed I had a bit of a string of losers there, then I had a string of winners. And I think I've been playing around with these settings, and I found that I've got a profile here which kind of worked quite well. So when I started out with essentially a filter which looked like this. So it was a weakest and strongest currencies on the weekly time frame, the two weakest and two strongest currencies on the daily time frame, and I used a buy dip sell rally filter type, and I used a match time frame with the two weakest and two strongest currencies. And I think what happened there was, in strong trends, if we look at how that worked, that period of time when I got a whole load, a string of winners, there's a mainly short euro dollar position, which seems to short euro and short sterling. But let's have a look at the euro, some of those euro trades. If we see on the charts, so yeah, here you see the system was kind of consistently selling any sort of retest of strength. So basically a rally, short rallies in this downtrend. Let's go to the 15-minute chart and maybe to see that more clearly. Yeah, so where the actual price action rallied up in this time frame of this 15 minutes, it went short there. Same thing here. Same thing there to some degree. I mean, these parameters could be tuned a little bit more. I mean, you know, how this system behaves is completely dependent on how you implement these parameters. So it picked up some nice little trades in this downtrend. But then I also noticed on the way out, when we saw a reversal, we then started to lose. So we had a string of losers there on the same sort of pairs. On balance, I think we made more than we lost. And if you look at the actual equity curve on this has been throughout my testing, so this is kind of looks pretty grisly actually. But let's just show you that. So I've done loads of testing. This has been going on since this has been going on since the 12th of January. But so for a while it just went, you know, just as I was developing the system, and then that was a manual trade which was quite a big winner, and then we carried on losing, and then recently when I implemented this kind of longer time frame and the auto trading facility, that was that big run of winners, and then we saw a little few losers off when the trend changed, and then it picked back up again. So again, you know, I'm not offering a prescription here. This isn't a black box system which is going to just make you millions off $100. But I think if it's used sensibly, and also possibly the big advantages are going to be by tuning your take profits and your stop loss parameters in the EA itself. So you want to be trying to drive out more profit than you're losing. So if you let those, remember, this is trend following. These trades here were trend following, so I was using a kind of a one-to-one stop loss and take profit strategy, which is not really enough. So by increasing that take profit level a bit, I think I could have run those trades a lot longer and actually benefited from that. But anyhow, that's an idea of what it's been doing. There's an awful lot of trades in there, because when you're developing, you know, you're just messing around trying to get things to work. Now we're in a situation where the system is fully stable and the EA is stable as well. So I can show you a trade auto executing if you like. Again, this will just be a forced trade, so you know, don't read anything into this, but to illustrate how the system would auto trade. Let's say, for example, I wanted to look for something which will go. So yeah, if I select H1, you can see these are all matching up, and I'll just do trend follow. So essentially we can see US dollar and JPY and Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar are both in the time frames, and when we see a refresh of this data, you can see those pairs, the qualifying filtered pairs. So it's going to go, should actually execute it. Yeah, it's going to go, it's told us here 1344, and if we go to MT4, have a look, you can see now those trades have been executed automatically. So simple as that, really. I'll close those down because I don't really want to trash my my equity curve. This is what happens when you're developing and testing. you're just going to do loads and loads of these little demo trades and you know, just testing the system out. So hence the reason why you get an equity curve which looks like it does. So there you go, a bit of I didn't mean to go into quite as much detail as this, but hopefully that gives you a pretty full picture of this product, and I'll now start building the product page and get that launched. So if you have any questions, just send me an email, info@fxalgotrader.com. Thanks very much for watching.